A lot of people want things to be perfect when they start. They don't want to fail. They don't want to make a mistake. Okay, and you just have to make a commitment that you're going to be committed to doing this, whether you fail, whether you want to quit, whether somebody says it. Welcome to the Online Business Simplified podcast. My name is Mario. I'm your host, and I'm the author of 4 books. This one is a relationship book that horrifyingly flopped when I first released it, but in it I learned a ton about business and marketing. I see a lot of people afraid to pull the trigger on that thing that they know they have inside them. They're afraid to get started. They're afraid to launch because they don't want to fail. Everybody fails, but not a lot of people start. So you got to make sure that you take the first step, and that is just to start. Start afraid. Start not knowing everything that you need to have. Just start. Question that I got, she asked, why is it so hard to record, edit, and post a YouTube video? How do most of you manage to do it without going insane and still live a slow, present life? That's a good question. And I noticed that a lot of people want things to be perfect when they start. They don't want to fail. They don't want to make a mistake. And that is the mistake. You're going to fail, but your goal should be to fail fast. So, okay, that didn't work. Now let me try something else. Oh, this did work, right? So I'm gonna give you a couple tips on how you can make this happen. The first thing is perfection is a myth. And perfection, it's good to aspire to be perfect. And if you do that, if you reach for the stars or reach for the moon, you'll reach the stars, or reach for the stars, you reach the moon. I forgot what the saying is. But the point is, you can try to achieve perfection, but you'll never reach it because nobody is perfect. But if you continue in your efforts to reach that, then you'll get where you want to get. Now let's talk about some tactical stuff, because great is always the enemy of good. You know what I mean? I want to make this perfect. I want to make this great. But if it's good enough, ship it. Just put it out. It doesn't matter what feedback you get, because any feedback you're going to get is going to help you course correct to put out the next thing. Okay, and you just have to make a commitment that you're going to be committed to doing this, whether you fail, whether you want to quit, whether somebody says a mean comment or something like that, because this is not a perfection game. This is a consistency, and this is I'm going to show up every day type of thing. Okay, so all right, plan the process. And here's what I said to her. And this is something that maybe you can probably relate to, or maybe you felt like this, or maybe you ever thought this. But you probably want each take to be perfect, and that's a mistake. I see people do this all the time. They'll get their phone, they'll do like 20 takes just to get the one that's perfect, and that's a waste of time. You just need a plan on the process. And so try this, right? Bullet point the topics. This is what I do. I bullet point the topics when I'm researching, and then this is what I'm doing also with this podcast. I bullet point the topics, and then for each bullet point, I just turn on the recorder and talk about the bullet point, everything that I know about it. If I make a mistake, I pause, I move on, I start over, re-record that. Just like I just keep going. And then when it's done, then I'll do the edit. But don't start recording. And then when you go to the edit, you'll see where the stops are, and it'll make it easier for you to edit that. What I do is I have my phone or my computer like right beside me with the bullet points. And I just go through each one, and I stop as little as possible. That makes the editing easier. That also helps me just get the content out there, whether it's perfect or whether it's not. The idea is to get the action in. That continuous action, that's what's going to help you get better. Those reps, those continuous, consistent reps, that's how you get better. You don't just one day magically put out a video and then all of a sudden you're good. There's a lot of things that you have to master, a lot of things you have to learn. That only comes with the reps. So yeah, plan the process, write out the bullet points, record on the bullet points. That's how you can stay on topic. That's how you can, get your content to a better state. And you can make that a simple process. Do the same process. Have your checklist on Trello or Asana or any of these other tools that you can use. And, you can even have ChatGPT put you together a list of things that you want to do in your content for every single piece, and you make sure that you just check off those items. Now, I have an easy framework to remember. It's called the HVC framework: hook, value, CTA. So just make sure that when you're calling out those bullet points, just make sure you have a hook to grab them with whatever problem you're solving in that particular piece of content. Make sure that the value in the body is providing them value, and then make sure the call to action is the next step you want them to take, whether that's join your email list, whether that's buy a product, whatever it is. Just make sure you have that framework, and you have, again, a structure every time you record your content. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just make sure it's good enough. And then as you conduct your reps and you put out more content, you will get better as time increases. I wrote this book called The Online Blueprint to Building Your Online Empire, and that book is free. I'm going to leave the link down in the description. But if you want to start your business this year and you want to level up, then go down, get that book, dive in, take the actions, and this time in about 6 months or maybe next year, you could have the type of business and the type of life that you want. Now, it's going to be some work involved, but I cannot wait to help you start building yours.